Today on X-Play, we learn that violence is the answer in Chaser. We debate the right to bear light guns in Time Crisis 3. And the solid gold dancers hit rock bottom in Ultimate Beach Soccer. Enough already! It's game time! Please welcome your surly Mouseketeers, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
That's my surly face. That makes me like Billy Idol. Hello, welcome to X-Play.
You're nice singing today.
Thank you.
Today we have RPGs, beach soccer, and some really, really bad camera angles.
Oh, goody. Does that mean we have another Resident Evil game for me to complain about?
Yeah, no, not yet.
No, not yet. But soon, I hope. We've also got a light gun game, which means Morgan's probably going to be making those ooh-la-la noises again. It's so
Perhaps,
cute.
but I'm not making any promises.
Choo-choo.
But to start things off, we have a review of a first-person shooter made by a Slovakian company. So at least Slovakia is finally represented in the gaming industry. Now only Turkmenistan would come out with a dating sim. It's a bad idea. Here's a review of Chaser.
Chaser. Chaser. Chaser. It's not the story of some recent law school grad chasing slip and falls at Walgreens. It's this guy. Chaser comes at you like a very familiar ex who promises they've changed. Yeah, a lot like that guy. I know you'll be different this time. You'll shower more, you'll get a job, and you'll get a car. And maybe you. How about a release date sometime soon? And you. John Chaser, what have you got to say for yourself? Look at you, you hackneyed spent piece of used space trash. You're just like all the rest with your recycled tough guy talk dropping out of your mouth like pureed carrots spilling down a baby's bib.
It's out. Do you want to see it?
Chaser for the PC drops yet another first-person shooter into our lap with the familiar thud of a body hitting the pavement. I've seen visions of dystopic cities in ruins. I've seen evil syndicates, sexy scientists, and crooked cops. And yes, I've seen you too, Chaser, and your painful moral introspection. Stop whining. The killing floors of Chaser are familiar ground. This game is about body count. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're willing to groan through another litany of evil story elements, you'll definitely get to whack something.
I need to get to Mars.
Apparently, Johnny Boy was a soldier in a past life, and then he was used in, oh no, not that, a military experiment. Are they allowed to do that? I mean, I know they pay for college tuition, but experiments?
But 1 hour and 10 minutes after taking the drug, with one man climbing a tree to feed the birds, the troop commander gave up.
Well, now there's something in his head called a spider, and...
Can you help me with the spider?
Oh, forget about it. Don't squeeze the trigger, pull it on this all-too-familiar storyline. We all had tough pasts, pal. Why don't you just go out and get a lawyer like every other whiner in this country? Of course, you'll be given the familiar arsenal of weapons that almost every game character in the world gets at the video game character armory down the road. Adrenaline mode causes our tiny, whiny hero to, yep, another lift from another game, slow motion. Big deal. A new game engine performs decently, but puts you out when it comes to some basic elemental jumping onto inanimate objects. Lots of cliches,
Cousin Shane, he's ambitious to take over my business.
predictable environments, and that all-too-familiar feel of a dozen or so other first-person shooters leave John Chase in the sad shallows of the personals. His rating? A 2 out of 5.
The Chaser is really similar to Mace, Griffin, Bounty Hunter. They're both full of overly shiny surfaces and just not much more.
No, not really.
No.
But, if you're bored, maybe play it. I don't know. Hey, we have an RPG by Black Isle Studios. That's good news. They gave us games like Planescape Torment, excellent. Baldur's Gate, excellent. And, of course, one of my favorite RPGs, Fallout. Now, this RPG, however, is kind of semi-historical. Don't let that turn you off too much, though it does take place after the Crusade.
Does it still have werewolves and spells and demons?
Name me an RPG that does not have spells and demons.
Fallout?
Yeah, I knew that, but that's why I like it. Stop looking at me. Anyway, this game takes place in an alternate reality where Richard the Lionheart actually won the Crusades. A victory that turns out to be a terrible idea, much like the Crusades themselves. Here's our review of Lionheart.
As a thank you for purchasing Lionheart, Reflexive Entertainment included a copy of their breakout clone, Ricochet Extreme. It's pretty fun, but it's not why we're here now, is it? Now that's more like it.
In 1192, the Knights of the West waged the Third Crusade against the armies of the East.
To order the history lesson.
King Richard the Lionhearted defeated his rival, the great Sultan Saladin.
Actually, the setting for Lionheart is one of the best we've seen in a long time. Based on an alternate history, Lionheart portrays 16th century Europe as a place filled with monsters, demons, and magic power. And the Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Yes, that Inquisition seeks to root out all those tainted by magic power. Unfortunately for you, you've got a demon living inside of you.
Great, just great.
Lionheart starts out just great. The role-playing system allows you to completely customize your character and play the game in the manner of your choosing. At least that's how it appears. The first part of the game takes place in and around Barcelona. Here, you'll align yourself with one of several factions, including the all-powerful Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
You'll find that there are lots of quests to take on, and unlike so many other RPGs, there are multiple ways to complete them, and different outcomes depending on how you handle the situation. Better yet, many of these quests are intertwined, leaving you to make some hard choices on how you want to proceed. This is all great stuff until you get to combat. It's hard.
Leave this one alone.
Very hard. Early on in Lionheart, because there are so many role-playing options, this doesn't pose too much of a problem. But things change drastically during the second half of the game. All the cool role-playing pretty much gets chucked out the window in favor of wave after wave of Diablo-style hack and slash. This wouldn't be a big deal if A, the combat wasn't so unforgivably difficult, and B, the first part of the game wasn't so masterfully designed. The first part of Lionheart is easily a 4, but the generic dungeon crawl that makes up the second half is too material, plain and simple. So in the end, we're stuck giving Lionheart a 3 out of 5. If you do decide to play the game, take your advice. When you reach the halfway point, just boot up Ricochet Extreme instead.
Great, just great.
Did I always expect the Spanish Inquisition? And it never comes.
Yeah, it's just the Slovakian Inquisition. No, I jest. Life is full of unfulfilled promises. It's true. I'm sorry to break that to you. A good example, Duke Nukem Forever.
Coming up, surrender your badge and your light gun. It's Time Crisis 3. Once again, the itchy and scratchy of X-Play, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play, the show that handles peripherals so you don't have to.
Yes, we have a light gun game.
Now, as many of you know, light guns have been kind of going the way of the dodo as of late. You do have those semi-fond memories of Duck Hunt. You have your original Nintendo system going like that, but now you don't see any gun con games on any consoles anywhere.
Well, there was House of the Dead 3 for the Xbox, there was Ninja Assault for the PS2, but I guess that's true for the most part. We sort of look at light guns the way most people look at 8-tracks. There's nostalgic value, it seems kind of fun. But mainly it's a sort of clunky, weird thing that doesn't do anything with anything that exists anymore.
Which makes this a magic happy moment. We have a decent gun con game.
Here's our review of Time Crisis 3.
Oh, light gun. You're like an old friend I haven't seen in years. And now you're back in my arms again. Well, actually in my hot little hand, because I need to shoot some people. Games where you can actually pick up a gun and blast baddies are few and far between. And Time Crisis 3 is just the kind of purebred 3D first-person shooter the light gun was made for. No other GunCon compatible product offers this much bang for your buck. Of course, you can use a regular controller, but nothing feels as good as pulling a real trigger.
One of the most beautiful countries on the Mediterranean coast.
Lucano, a small Mediterranean territory, is in serious trouble. The evil Zagorius Federation has invaded nearby Astigos Island and pointed tactical missiles at the otherwise peaceful nation.
Stop right there! Oh my god!
Enter the cavalry, super spies Alan and Wesley. Yes, Wesley. You control either of them throughout an adventure spread across 3 massive stages. Your goal is simple. Take back the occupied landmass by force. Play straightforward. Kill at will. Firefights take place in docks, city streets, and vehicular chase sequences. You're sheltered behind cover, peeking out and dropping the hammer on evil Federation troopers. Take that! Yeah, that's what I thought.
Shotgun, grenade, handgun.
Keeping your arsenal well stocked is actually a huge part of the experience. Faced with blade-wielding foes that pop up in your face and enemy battalions that attack en masse, choosing the right weapon for the scenario at hand is imperative. From dazzling urban architecture to crate-filled cargo holds to sandy beaches, the presentation is impeccable. Sound effects dazzle as well. Longevity is the only drawback. As a shoot-'em-up, Time Crisis 3 delivers only so much replay value. Once you're done, you're pretty much done. This game has been a long time coming, and, take it from us, this sucker's been worth the wait. X-Play gives Time Crisis 3 a 4 out of 5.
The Time Crisis 3 was pretty good, and we thought we'd show you a couple of light guns, since if you want to play it, you'll probably need one.
Yeah, see, now, Time Crisis 3, the game Time Crisis 3, that's coming out soon. But Time Crisis, the game packaged with the gun together, that's not going to be out until early next year. Don't look at me why, I just tell you this news. I do not make it up. Okay, now the GunCon that you got with Ninja Assault and Vampire Crisis or Time Crisis 2 is the gun that you would have to use right now if you want to play your Time Crisis 3.
Now,
we decided to show you a couple of these guns here. This is the GunCon 2.
Right, that's by Namco, right?
Right, it's by Namco. Now, this is the one that we actually recommend that people use.
Right.
It actually has a different type of technology that allows you to, it sort of takes a picture of the screen instead of shooting light at the screen, so that does make it a wee bit more nifty and a little bit more accurate, and it allows you to have a reticle on the screen as opposed to the more traditional light gun.
This one has cool recoil action.
See, look at that. It's almost like you're shooting a real gun, except it's glowing green. They did model it after a true armament, the Desert Eagle, which is the Israeli gun, though this is made in China. So, you know,
who knows?
You tell us.
Right. Well, I like that they're pretty. I like that they're colorful. They make the instruments of death look just so whimsical. And they can match your outfit if you happen to be wearing this color.
Yeah, or crush orange.
Coming up, men find religion and pretend to be airplanes in Ultimate Beach Soccer. Please welcome 2 stars who do their own game stunts, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back.
We have a sports game that takes place on the beach. And thankfully, it's not volleyball this time. This game, I think, also has its own sand engine.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's beach soccer. And unlike freestyle street soccer, which features warring gangs playing footy, this is actually a real sport. And it's popular everywhere but the States, because for some reason, the country just doesn't dig soccer.
Yeah, we have so many other games. That's probably the reason. Anyway, this is the preview of Ultimate Beach Soccer.
This is Beach Soccer. It seems to put a new spin on bullies kicking sand in Wim's faces. It also seems to bring humankind's quest for spiritual freedom within close proximity to man's quest for divine intervention. Well, with all the soccer games out there, we thought we'd look at one that's actually a legitimate sport. Each locale visits a fantasy type of enthusiasm. Judging from the attendance, this is a popular sport. And judging from the enthusiasm of the crowd, we can only conclude that this could only happen in a video game. This sport seems to be aiming to involve all of the currently hip elements of MTV society here. There's Mr. DJ, a bevy of pixelated women folk. Ew, Mr. Marketing, and Mr. Hip Youth-driven Soundtrack. And let's not forget Mr. Hipper-than-thou hairstyle and sunglasses. Yes, the world does seem to be turning into one big MTV beach house. Did I mention the in-your-face dissing? The differences in camera mode seem to be a tad shallow in our preview copy, but it's doubtful that this game is out to compete with anything resembling FIFA soccer. This game is an international cavalcade of stars. Beach soccer stars, that is. There's the Swedish team that seems to be named after a new kind of IKEA lighting fixture. Fricka shoots. Fricka scores. Where was I? Beach soccer, right. Special moves are rewarded with artistry points, of course. That's that little spin move I'm doing. Play the world, because the world seems really enamored with this sport. Tournaments and friendly matches allow variation as to how many teams and how many players you'll choose to field, or beach in this case. The arcade setting will allow you a great deal of freedom in terms of some highly entertaining pass moves and very responsive teammates. You'll nickname your goalie the Berlin Wall for the meager amount of shots that get past him. Great stuff! If your game ends in a tie, you'll have to finish things off with the dreaded penalty kick. I hate the penalty kick. And then there's this curious condition. It happens when the other side has a substitution and is sort of the hockey equivalent of a power play. Kind of a new religion for the MTV faithless. Whatever it is, the players perform and the ball looks funny. Beach soccer won't be for everyone. Real soccer gamers will stick to their precious copies of FIFA soccer for the blood and turf realism of the world's most popular sport. For those who might want to have a little fun, however, look for Ultimate Beach Soccer in the fall. Yep, the players in this game, they thank the Lord when they score a point because apparently the Lord hates the other team and just does not want them to win. That would explain the Detroit Tigers. They just aren't down with the GOD.
And the hate mail from Michigan starts now. And if you'd like to talk about any of the games we've reviewed or anything else on the show, join us for X-Play Chat.
It's every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's at techtv.com/xplay. Guess what? We'll be back.
Up next, bad camera angles. They aren't just for Resident Evil anymore. Please welcome the Alpha and the Omega, Sessler and Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play, where no matter how you shoot me, we have bad camera angles.
Yes, we've played games with horrible, horrible camera angles where you can't tell where you're going or who's shooting you.
Insane. Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, Batman Dark Tomorrow. Whoa, that's a good one. You know why it's a Dark Tomorrow in that game? Because you can't see where the hell you're going in it.
Right, and there's also Stake, of course, but then everything about that game is bad. It has a blue kickball of death. What does that mean? Still, Resident Evil is the most consistent bad camera offender.
It is, and recently when I was going to work, something happened. Something strange. I entered a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space, as timeless as infinity. It's an area which we call the bad camera zone.
Submitted for your approval, Adam Sessler, host of Tech TV's X-Play, arrives at work to find the entire office is now
Hey, Blair, I think we need to be changing the...
pre-rendered. Frustrated with his inability to interact with the environment, Adam forgets the first rule of bad camera work. All threats are off-screen. Little does Adam know that when the camera changes, all bets are off. Not being a key item, the fudge is pre-rendered and unobtainable. This, then, is the last straw for Mr. Sessler.
The sad thing is that Adam also walks like that when he's drinking.
Yes, but at least when I'm drunk, the fudge is for real and I can eat it and get all over my face and look dumb.
Yeah.
Which goes well with my walking.
Right. I'm sure it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, do you feel that? Do you feel it?
What?
It's a total change of subject.
Oh my God, you're right.
I know.
Oh,
Here's some
good.
viewer mail. Today's question is from Sergio. He writes, I was wondering if you could answer me a question. Do you guys know what happened to the SNK Neo Geo company? Are they making more games like The King of Fighters, Metal Slug, Samurai Showdown, etc.? Can you put this email on TV, please?
That was really, really well articulated.
Thank you. That's exactly what he wrote.
Which goes to tell you, Sergio, you don't need it. Give us the crazy punctuation. Yes, we'll answer your question on TV.
Now, many of you remember the Neo Geo arcade system, which featured a lot of great SNK 2D games like the one Sergio mentioned in his email.
Yes, all those. Now, back in 2001, SNK pulled out of the U.S. because their Japanese parent company told them to. Now, there have been some legal wrangling with big words that are Latin and whatever, and SNK is coming back to the U.S.
Yay!
Welcome back.
They've announced plans to get King of Fighters 2000 and 2001 re-released on the PS2. Now, on top of that, there'll be Metal Slug games for the Game Boy Advance and the PS2.
So, expect a lot of games coming from them in the future, and to find out more about that and other stuff, you come to our website.
TechTV.com/xplay.
You know what that means? Good night. Look, it's like John Woo. Come on. John Woo. Oh.